Welcome to Cruzin Northwest. I'm Dick Page, and I'll be your host for the next 30 minutes. Cruzin Northwest is a program about Northwest hot rods, custom cars, dragsters, lowriders. We're going to show you video highlights of Northwest events. Today we're going to go to Leslie's Restaurant, show highlights of the June 8th, 1986 event. My guest today will be Les Scully from Leslie's Restaurant, Chaz Martin, coordinator of the events. And gentlemen, thank you for being with us today. And if you're ready, let's go. Cruzin Northwest.
Well, I've got three
Gentlemen, this event was June 8th, 1986. How many of these events have you had?
Well, I'd say that in the last 6 years, I believe we've held these events, or at least this will be our 6th year. We've had an average, we started off, I believe, with 2, and in the last 3 or 4 years, we've done 3 a year.
Right.
And then, of course, this coming year, we plan for 2 more events.
A lot of work.
A lot of work. A lot of fun, too.
Well, you're to be congratulated for all the effort you've put out. You've really been the one to do most of the footwork. Like a lot of people, I always thought that Leslie's events were put on by the Vintage Graffiti Car Club, but I've come to find out that's not true.
No.
This is an individual effort on the part of you and Les.
Yes, it's been us solely for the last 6 years. Les come to me 6 years ago and said he'd like to do something with the old cars like Bush's Restaurant had. And I said, okay, let's put it together and do it. And we started in, and it's been very successful. The first time we did it, we ran it for a whole week every night. And I think we had about 20 cars to begin with, wasn't that right, Les?
That's pretty close to what we started with.
Then it started to grow and grow and grow, and we've had as much as 400 cars at one time. We've had them come as far as from Alaska, St. Paul, Minnesota, east of the mountains, Oregon. So we've had some real good turnouts.
Well, I was involved in the original 2 events at Bush's Restaurant, and when the article appeared in the Tacoma News Tribune, it mentioned that the Vintage Graffiti Car Club had assisted, and you know, actually I had not even realized that you fellas had a club. People were asking me who the Vintage Graffiti Car Club was, and I actually didn't know. It was a lot of work. We backed off because of the amount of work involved, and I was shocked and amazed that you guys picked up the ball and ran with it the way you did. You've done a tremendous job. The whole cruising scene in the Northwest, I think, really started at that time, and much of the credit for that does go to you, Les. And for everyone involved, I want to thank you right now publicly for the effort that you've made. It's really made a big difference. The people can see on the screen some of the old cars that are involved in this. There's quite a variety of vehicles. If you want to comment about any of these, feel free to just jump right in. You're not limited to any year of vehicles. Here we have a 56 Chevrolet. We just saw a 32 Ford 3-window coupe go by. Is there a cutoff year on the dates on these cars?
Actually, we have it an open field. Everybody's welcome. Every specialty car. That's what we try to limit to, specialty cars. We have vintage and so forth also.
A lot of semi-race cars. This looks like, what, a 38 Chevy? You should know that.
37 Chevy, yes. That belonged to Don. That car was a drag car also.
It was a former race car converted over for street use. You see a lot of that nowadays.
That's a supercharged car.
This is very big. Everything is getting very, very involved and very popular in the sport. Les, you've been doing this for a while. When we come back, we're going to take a break here in a second. When we come back, I want to ask you a few questions about your background, how you got started, your involvement. Chaz, I'm going to mention a few things about you. I have some personal knowledge of your background. You were one of my heroes when I was still walking. We'll be back in a few minutes. We're going to stop for a break. Now, don't go away.
You drive a Corvette because it's special. That's the way you want it treated. That's what happens at Pacific Corvette. Whether it's a tune-up or a complete overhaul, a paint job or an interior treatment, Pacific Corvette knows what special is all about. Mechanical service, body work, or a complete inventory of factory or custom parts. You find it all at Pacific Corvette, 112th and Canyon Road in Puyallup. Call statewide toll-free 800-228-2857. Pacific Corvette.
10 years ago, a big engine job cost this much money. Today, this much. So now it's even more important to take care of your car right, including changing the oil and putting in a new Fram oil filter when you're supposed to. After all, a Fram filter doesn't cost much. A big engine job does. But the choice is yours. You can pay me now or pay me later.
Fram oil filters now on sale at all Big Wheel Auto Parts stores. South Tacoma Motor Company, 56th and South Tacoma Way. South Tacoma Motor Company, 56th and South Tacoma Way. South Tacoma Motor Company, 56th and South Tacoma Way.
Good times roll. Let good times roll.
When things go bump in the night, the bumps are usually still there in the daytime. If it's your thing that went bump, Meridian Collision Center on Puyallup South Hill can unbump it with quality workmanship, fair prices, and a full 3-year written warranty. And that's the way it's been for 19 years at Meridian Collision, the most complete frame and body repair facility in the entire Puget Sound area. 157th and South Meridian in Puyallup, Meridian Collision Center.
Welcome back to Cruzin Northwest. Our guests for today are Les Scully, owner of Leslie's Restaurant in Lakewood, where they have some outdoor car shows known as Cruzins, and Chaz Martin, the coordinator of these events. Gentlemen, I was going to investigate your past a little bit, automotive concern. Les, your father owned a gas station in South Tacoma in mid-'60s, and you had some cars then.
That's correct. That's probably the first exposure that I've had to rods, street rods, and custom cars. And I would say my first impression, my brother and I worked the gas station there on about 48th and South Tacoma Way, I believe it was a Chevron gas station.
You didn't see cars like this Model
And
T, though, did you?
No, I don't recall seeing too many of those, but we had a few little cars that my father had purchased, and one was a 39 Ford Coupe that we really enjoyed. My brother and I kind of shared the limelight with that, and we'd go down. It needed different things. The transmission, you had to shift just right, and it had to replace the engine once or twice, but
We've come a long ways.
it was a lot of fun. And I remember the days on South Tacoma Way there where we'd go up and down and go down to Bushes and to see what was happening down there.
Now, Chaz, when I was a young man, walking home, saving my money to put my 32 Ford together, I remember seeing this 52 Oldsmobile in the gas station where you worked. A beautiful white car, gold scallops.
Right.
It had a logo painted on the side, said the White Pearl.
That's right.
I was really impressed with that car.
I'd like to have it back.
That was a special car because of several things, one of which was the paint job on it.
Right. Beautiful paint job. The paint job was actually done at the Buick garage downtown.
Bruce Buick.
Right. And Jim Antone, Bill Streeter, and myself scalloped that car. It was the first car in Tacoma area to be scalloped.
And scalloped is a special paint design with pointed streamers that go down the side of the car. Very popular in those days.
And I don't know if you remember a fellow back in the old days named Jim Needus. He pinstriped it in those days.
California resident now.
Right.
Had several fine cars and some of the national magazines.
Right. There's a nice roadster going through the Leslie event.
These events are always held on a Sunday, are they, Les?
That's correct. We choose the Sunday as the day because the businesses around are generally closed, and it gives us the entire parking lot to work with. We have to go through the trouble, of course, to get permission to close the street so that we have room for more cars. And as you see, some very beautiful cars show up for that.
They are.
That event.
Some very nice vehicles there. All types. Late model cars, not too many stockers, not too many antiques and restored cars. Mostly hot rods, custom cars, a few lowriders. I'm all... Oh,
Gee, there's a popular car right there, Dick. You recognize that
How
one?
about that?
I'm also impressed that people come from so far away. People come from Seattle, Bellevue, quite a distance to go to this. This is a very popular event.
Had people from even California and Canada, I'm sure, come down for events.
Is that right?
Looks like the Coca-Cola truck.
That would be Lyle Davis.
Lyle Davis's Coca-Cola truck.
I think a lot of people are very envious of that one. That's a beautiful, beautiful.
When we come back, I want to ask you a little bit about the community, a few things about some of the work that you do involving the charities, and we'll be right back.
Footage for today's show is drawn from Cruzin Northwest's extensive library of events gathered over the last 2 years throughout the Northwest. You'll want to see it all, and you can. Cruzin Northwest is now available for your home video library or as a gift in full 1-hour cassettes of more than 24 different runs and special events. Each tape is just $29.95 plus $3.50 tax and shipping. Write Cruzin Northwest, 424 Broadway, Tacoma, Washington, 98402. Order yours today. You drive a Corvette because it's special. That's the way you want it treated. That's what happens at Pacific Corvette. Whether it's a tune-up or a complete overhaul, a paint job or an interior treatment, Pacific Corvette knows what special is all about. Mechanical service, body work, or a complete inventory of factory or custom parts. You find it all at Pacific Corvette, 112th and Canyon Road in Puyallup. Call statewide toll-free, 800-228-2857. Pacific Corvette.
Get ready!
When we move fast. When we hit with irresistible force. Adventure training in the Army National Guard.
Welcome back to Cruzin Northwest. My guests today are Les Scully from Leslie's Restaurant in Lakewood, Chaz Martin, coordinator of the events that they have out there called Cruzins. Gentlemen, when we stopped for a break, I was going to mention the community involvement. People are a big part of these events. This is a good, family-oriented, fun time for everyone. You do a lot of good in the community. It puts the hot rods, the custom cars, out before the public, which acquaints the public with what it is that people are doing in the hobby and/or sport. But more important than that, it gives people something to do with their cars, something in a united sort of way. It's really a family atmosphere out here, isn't it?
Yes, I think one reason that we like to put on the shows is because of the togetherness, the people that come out and see the cars. Myself, I admire all the cars, and I know that the community, and they come back to me and tell me about the car show. They remember the car show they had at Leslie's, and it's a lot of fun to see people have a good time, and of course for the opportunity for those who own the cars to be able to show them off. It's kind of a mutual benefit there for the community and the people that like to show off their cars.
You do a lot of good in the community. I know you do some things with your restaurant geared towards providing free dinners at Christmas time for some of the needy people. But the car people actually put on an event there, and I believe you take care of that, don't you? Your club puts that on?
Pat Hart and myself are co-chairmen of the event for Graffiti Vintage Car Club in Tacoma. We have our annual Christmas, well, we call it a bash, to raise food, toys, money, etc. for the needy, children and older people also. In fact, this year we took care of 19 families, and I'll tell you, they really appreciated it, and of course it was really nice for us, and we appreciated Les. He supplied the coffee and the hot apple cider and his buildings and parking lot, and we really had really a good turnout, didn't we, Les?
Yes, I think the first year you had a fairly good turnout, but the second year was really tremendous.
Oh,
and it looks like
fantastic.
it's a very much a growing event. So
Most of the cars that we're seeing on the screen now have turned out for these charity events, and it's nice that people come from so far away. I can remember once when the weather was not the best, it got bitter cold when it was dark, and there were people there from all over, and it was quite an atmosphere. These people have really turned out for you.
Yes, they really do. Really open their hearts up over this.
Let's see a for sale sign there, that's allowed, huh? You don't need a license for that?
I just wish I had the money to purchase one of them. They're really beautiful cars.
We try to help anybody that, that's fine, dandy. Little plug for their car is great.
And of course, there are many trophies, I believe, that we hand out that Chaz actually arranged that. Sponsors that help us with the cars, because we really wouldn't be able to do it alone.
29 different awards. 29 we give out awards.
Is that right?
And a lot of the businesses in the South Tacoma district and throughout the Tacoma Puyallup. It's, we really have a nice setup.
And that just makes it more of a community effort between the sponsors that provide the awards and the door prizes and ourselves. And it's a lot of work that we really enjoy.
Like our main sponsor for the event coming up in May is Big Wheel Auto Parts, and they have been very, very good to us. Very good.
Well, that's good for Big Wheel because you have such a large variety of vehicles here. As we can see on the today's program, you have such a variety of vehicles. We're going to take a break. We'll be back. Don't go away.
How far would you go without tires? Probably as far as Pete's Tire and Service Center, located on Kent's East Hill. Pete's Tire and Service Center has a complete line of Goodyear tires and specials you'll have to compare. And I know you'll save. How about a lube oil and filter, $8.88, or 4 white spoke rims complete. Computer balance and chrome goodies, $139.95. Call Brad or Pete. You'll hear 11 years of experience talking to you. When you're at Pete's, note the cleanliness, and then we invite you to buy your tires at Pete's.
10 years ago, a big engine job cost this much money. Today, this much. So now it's even more important to take care of your car right, including changing the oil and putting in a new Fram oil filter when you're supposed to. After all, a Fram filter doesn't cost much. A big engine job does. But the choice is yours. You can pay me now or pay me later.
Fram oil filters now on sale at all Big Wheel Auto Parts stores.
How do you do? I'm Bob Mallon, president of Mallon Ford in South Tacoma. This is what I like to call a no-script commercial. I'd rather work from the heart than from a piece of paper. And in all my years of being in the automobile business, coming from a family that's been selling Fords on South Tacoma Way since 1916, I know a couple of things when it comes to the issue of consumer protection. One is I really recommend that you shop when you're looking for a car. I certainly recommend that you look at Ford. The quality that Ford has to offer today is truly outstanding. And naturally, I recommend that on your list, come to Mallon Ford in South Tacoma. You'll be happy that you did. Mallon Ford, Mallon Ford.
Welcome back, Cruzin Northwest. I'm Dick Page, and my guests today are Les Scully from Leslie's Restaurant, Chaz Martin. We're looking at some of the beautiful pictures that Mark Harper and his crew take. Mark's really done a fine job. He covers a lot of the Northwest events. This particular one is Leslie's from when? Help me out.
June, I believe.
June 1986.
86.
That's right. And you can see some of the beautiful examples of automotive art that are displayed at Leslie's Restaurant. Mark Harper's been doing this for about a year now, with 2 years with the crew. Mark holds up 2 fingers, tells me 2 years. They have all kinds of cars present at these events, late model cars, street rods, hot rods. Here we have a beautifully restored Corvette, Lyle Davis's sedan delivery
In the background
in the
there.
background, Coca-Cola car. What prompted you to volunteer to do this tremendous amount of work?
I really
Can't
don't
be a
know.
profit-making venture.
No,
on
it
your part.
isn't.
It just can't
I
be.
think it's the love of the sport, Dick. You know, we've been around cars all our lives, and it's just, it is a lot of work, but I'll tell you, It's gratifying. Especially when you have a good turnout. That's what's really makes you feel good. It's worth all the trouble.
And of course, we have to thank the good Lord for the good weather that we've had for most of our events. I think we've been very fortunate.
Rained out once, I believe, in 6 years.
You ate there.
That's
I think was one
Butch
of our-
Leonard's Buick.
It looks like Butch Leonard. There's Big Butch right there, walking down the way.
I think we had his on the T-shirt that year.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
I think we're getting ready for the awards. There's Barnesy having a little prayer there.
What about the future? What's the future hold for Leslie's Restaurant and these Cruzins? You're going to have how many this year?
Larry Rice sitting in.
Well, the fact that we've had such success in the past, and certainly if they continue to draw as many people and cars as they have in the past, we'd like to do them indefinitely, certainly. They're a lot of fun, and you really don't get tired of seeing the new cars. It's just always very interesting, and the awe that people have, certainly the people that come to see the show.
Well, I think it's a terrific thing for the general public to where they can come out and see a car. So many of the rod runs are held in out-of-the-way places at remote locations, and the general public never gets a chance to be exposed to these vehicles.
That's
and
right.
because of the variety that you have here, you'll find something for everybody. Not everybody's into the cars of the 30s like I am. A lot of people are into cars of the 50s and 60s. And this literally has something for everybody. And the quality is surprisingly good, considering that this is an open show. It's very, very loose-knit. It's not highly structured, but the people have been very cooperative about bringing only the best.
That's correct. I think we've been very fortunate with that.
Right.
Wouldn't you say, Chad?
Right. Everybody's welcome. It's we'd feel bad. There's Bob Red Wing there, just getting himself a little door prize. One of the. He has the truck called the Candy Brandy Wine.
That's
beautiful,
right.
beautiful 46
I
Chev
understand that
truck.
was a first-time effort on his part as far as a candy paint job
Right.
goes, and he's won Best Paint with that in numerous shows.
In his
Fine
garage.
effort.
In fact, he's the host car for the next event.
Is that right?
Right. May 31st.
Oh, that's right. His car appears on the new poster, doesn't it?
Right.
Posters. And we do make up flyers. We do a certain amount of promoting in advance, and it's not a tremendous amount. Like you said, it's not highly structured. But with that, certainly the community is very excited when they see it come in and they drive by and see all these beautiful cars.
Jerry Walter was just there. Tom Lovell, some of the club members.
When we come back, we're going to discuss some of the big prizes and some plans that you're going to have for a dance. A sock hop, if you will. Be right back.
You drive a Corvette because it's special. That's the way you want it treated. That's what happens at Pacific Corvette. Whether it's a tune-up or a complete overhaul, a paint job or an interior treatment, Pacific Corvette knows what special is all about. Mechanical service, body work, or a complete inventory of factory or custom parts. You find it all at Pacific Corvette, 112th and Canyon Road in Puyallup. Call statewide toll-free, 800-228-2857. Pacific Corvette.
10 years ago, a big engine job cost this much money. Today, this much. So now it's even more important to take care of your car right, including changing the oil and putting in a new Fram oil filter when you're supposed to. After all, a Fram filter doesn't cost much. A big engine job does. But the choice is yours. You can pay me now or pay me later.
Fram oil filters now on sale at all Big Wheel Auto Parts stores. And things go bump in the night. The bumps are usually still there in the daytime. If it's your thing that went bump, Meridian Collision Center on Puyallup South Hill can unbump it with quality workmanship, fair prices, and a full 3-year written warranty. And that's the way it's been for 19 years at Meridian Collision, the most complete frame and body repair facility in the entire Puget Sound area. 157th and South Meridian in Puyallup, Meridian Collision Center. Footage for today's show is drawn from Cruzin Northwest's extensive library of events gathered over the last 2 years throughout the Northwest. You'll want to see it all, and you can. Cruzin Northwest is now available for your home video library or as a gift in full 1-hour cassettes of more than 24 different runs and special events. Each tape is just $29.95 plus $3.50 tax and shipping. Write Cruzin Northwest, 424 Broadway, Tacoma, Washington, 98402. Order yours today.
Welcome back to Cruzin Northwest. We've been viewing a Mark Harper video of Leslie's event from 1986, talking about some of the future plans that Les Scully and Chaz Martin have for hopefully continued success with this venture. Les, tell us a little bit about, I know you have a prize in mind, something kind of spectacular. Is it fair to let the cat out of the bag at this time?
Well, we're probably not ready to let that cat out of the bag yet, but we do have a special prize along with the many trophies and door prizes that are going to be awarded at the event. But we are looking for possibly having a dance, a sock hop that you had mentioned, if we can arrange with the proper 50s, 60s rock and roll band.
Now this will be an indoor dance.
This would be after the event, yes. This would be after the event in the evening as an extension of the car show.
And I assume there'll be contest prizes, 50s, 60s costumes.
Oh yes, we're looking to have a nice costume contest or a 50s, 60s apparel, whoever comes up with the best looking, authentic, I guess.
The greasy DAs and the whole...
Greasy DAs, that would do it.
Should be a DT, a duck's tail.
Yeah, right.
But that would be a lot of fun. We provide entertainment every night as it is, but we don't generally reach back to the 50s, 60s. This would be a special event for sure.
And the band is?
We don't have the name of the band for you right now, so
I know I'm putting you on the spot here.
Make that contract first.
All right. I guess we can watch the pages of Northwest Vintage Tin magazine for any future updates on the events. They publish a complete schedule of the events, as you know, and from time to time they do publish pictures of what happens at Leslie's. And of course, Mark Harper will be selling his videos of the events.
Mark Harper sure does a good job on the camera, doesn't he? Really impresses me.
Some of these just make them look that much better than even what they are. They're really beautiful.
We're trying to get to let people know that if they come out, bring their cars, there's a good chance that they'll be seen on Cruzin Northwest.
That's true.
Well, Dick, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Big Wheel Auto Parts and also RB Obsolete Automotive for their sponsorship of our events. They've really been a big help.
Yes, before we had secured the help of these two major sponsors, Chaz Martin and myself would be putting it all over Tacoma,
knocking on
trying
doors.
to find people that would want to help us out and donate gifts. And it's really quite a task in addition to setting up the car show. Besides that, so it's been really nice what they've done. We hope certainly that it's helped them a little bit as well as it's helped us.
Well, Big Wheel got their feet wet a little bit with the University Place show that they had.
Right.
And I think they enjoyed some success from that.
They're
I know
quite active.
The community certainly appreciated, the car community appreciated at least, and that was part of an event that was taking place there.
You recognize any of these?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that looks like late
That's
model.
Mike's. Mike owns Personal Touch Detail.
Oh right,
That was
that's a Grand Prix, isn't it?
Right.
Well, I want to thank you guys for being here today. This is a traumatic experience, I know. I know it always is for me. You guys done a lot for car shows in general, Cruzins in particular. We're going to look forward to the coming season, and I wish you all continued success. And remember to watch for further updates in Northwest Vintage Tin magazine. And we want to thank you. We'll be back next week, same time, same station. Thank you.
Trying to do, you got to